Meta ad costs have doubled in the last 12 months, and 97% of your site traffic never returns to buy a product from your brand again. That's the reality that most e-commerce brands are facing going into 2025. For a brand spending $10,000 a month on ads, that's $9,700 wasted every single month. But here's what most brands don't realize. Your email list is the difference between lighting that $9,700 on fire every single month or turning it into $97,000 of monthly revenue for your brand, as well as creating hundreds of lifelong customers that know, like, and trust your products, your brand, and your mission. When a visitor leaves your Shopify store without subscribing to your email list, you're not just losing one sale, you're losing every future sale that they would have made. You're losing every sale that their friends and family would have made after they bought the product and told everybody about how great it was. You're losing the chance to market to them ever again without spending more money on paid ads or just hoping that they stumble across one of your social media posts. Here's what's interesting. While most Shopify stores are stuck converting only 2% of their site traffic into their email list, I've developed a pop-up system that we've used to consistently hit 15% conversion rates from site traffic to your email list without sacrificing your brand reputation or lowering your site conversion rate. In fact, we just used this exact strategy to take one of our brand's email lists from 60,000 to over 100,000 subscribers in just 12 months. The result of this, they generated $957,000 from flows and an extra 117% from campaigns, bringing in a total of $1.4 million just from campaign emails alone because they had more new subscribers on their email list to market to. And today I'm showing you the 5-step formula that makes this possible. So let me jump right into the guide and tell you exactly how we do it for our clients. All right, so jumping straight into the guide here, we're going to go over how to stop burning that ad spend and convert 15% of your site traffic to your actual email list so that you can retarget them and market to them again. We're going to go over the state of e-commerce in 2024, going into 2025, the hidden costs of a poor pop-up, the 5 pillars of pop-up success, building high converting forms, design and implementation guide, optimization and growth framework, and your 30-day action plan so you can get these results for your own brand. All right, jumping straight into this guide, let's talk about the state of e-commerce in 2024. The landscape for online brands has changed dramatically over the last 12 to 18 months. Ad costs have more than doubled in the last 12 months. iOS updates have been making tracking nearly impossible. There's even a new iOS 18 update where you potentially have to click see more to kind of see the images within these emails. So it kind of brings up the conversation of plain text versus graphic design emails. Consumers are more selective than ever before about where they spend their money. But here's what's interesting. The top 1% of brands are still crushing it despite all of these things happening on the outside with Google, with Yahoo, with all these sending providers. The difference isn't their product, their ads, or their brand name. It's their ability to actually capture and convert the traffic that they are already getting, that they are already paying for, the people who are already hitting their website. And so why is this even important? Why should you even continue watching this video? Well, in 2024, there are more e-commerce brands than ever. Advertising costs are on the rise. There's no signs of all that coming back down. Meta ad costs seem to only go up. E-commerce brands are finding themselves paying higher prices to get site traffic and acquire customers month over month. And so what this really means is that there's been a massive shift as far as making and maintaining profit margins on both the front end and the back end. And that's a priority in today's age if you're trying to survive the e-commerce game. Yet majority of brands resort to offering frequent monthly discounts, which really just kill your brand's profits and the perceived value of your brand over the long haul. And the brands who are leveraging strategies that focus on higher profit margins are the brands that are going to be here over the next 5 to 10 years because they're going to outlive all these short, cash grab type brands. The brands with the higher CAC who continue dishing out discounts, flushing their profit margins down the drain, won't be around much longer for the next 1 to 2 years because of this. The recent shift, I won't go over this. You can sit here and pause this and read this, but essentially government printed a lot of money. A lot of brands spun up, e-commerce boomed, a lot of people spent money. Now no one has more money. They don't have anything to spend, and now e-commerce brands are making less money. So why does this matter? What is the hidden cost of having a poor list growth, a poor pop-up form? Well, most brands don't realize how much money they're actually leaving on the table, not capturing enough of that site traffic to their email list. The shocking statistic is that 97% of your website traffic will never return or hit your site again to buy a product. Think about what that means for your ad spend. If you're investing the $10,000 that we talked about earlier, you're burning $9,700 of that every single month. You're never seeing it again. It's like throwing 97 cents of every advertising dollar away, but it doesn't have to be that way. The best brands have figured out how to capture these visitors before they leave so that they can retarget them, so they can market to them, so they can actually get them to convert over a longer period of time without having to spend more money on paid ads. And so why do you need to be growing your email list? You need to be bringing in new subscribers to your email list every single day, or else these two things will happen. You're wasting the site traffic that you've already paid to acquire, which we keep talking about because it's super, super important. The whole guide is on this right here. And if you don't continue to grow your list is going to start to die once you aren't bringing in new prospects to convert for the first time. What I mean by this is essentially, let's look at this graphic real fast. You're bringing new people in, you have your email list, you're converting some of them through pre-purchase flows, your abandoned cart, your welcome flow, etc. You're converting them to second-time buyers with some post-purchase flows. You're also getting more repeat buys and first-time buys from your campaigns. So new leads constantly converting and repeat purchasing is occurring. But if you don't have anybody coming into your email list, once they go through those pre-purchase flows, no one else is going through them. So your abandoned cart, your welcome flow, it stops converting because you're not bringing in new people. You're not fueling those email marketing flows, your post-purchase flows. So if you're not bringing in any new subscribers, what's going to happen is this 4 to 6 month timeline is not going to restart. You're going to essentially burn out your list. You're going to market to everybody and no one's coming in. No new eyeballs are coming in. It's like running ads to the same 1,000 people every single day and never expanding that audience. So what's going to happen is there's no more new leads converting and there's no repeat purchasing happening. It's all slowing down. And so without a high converting pop-up, your flows will be severely underperforming due to simply not getting enough traffic to actually make you sales. And so the math is really, really simple. Let's take two brands, for example, a 2% email opt-in rate for your pop-up. Brand B has an 8%. So with the same amount of site visitors, brand A is only getting 1,000 new subscribers a month. Brand B is getting 4,000 a month. Let's say the placed order rate on the brand A is 5%, while brand B is 8%. That should be the same, actually. I don't know why that's different. So roughly, just skipping all that, $5,000 a month to $32,000 a month. That's the difference when you're looking at just a few emails in this first flow. If you actually have, and we can still use this as an example, because if you're using a proper pop-up, you're going to be collecting some zero-party data. That's probably why I put this here. Let's say you're asking a question about why you're here or what you're interested in, or are you trying to do XYZ, or are you trying to do this? And then you have your welcome flow broken up into 3 or 4 sections, 3 or 4 sequences that specifically target what that customer answered within your pop-up form. So if you do that, you're naturally going to have a higher placed order rate in that welcome flow versus a 5%. And so if your AOV is still $100, that's a big difference. $5,000 a month and $32,000 a month just from one set of emails in just one flow. Think about that effect to a certain degree across all of your other flows, 40 to 55 emails, and then factoring in the future repeat purchases from these 320 new customers that you've acquired because you have a proper pop-up that's asking a proper question, and you're able to use some zero-party data to properly convert them in your welcome flow. That's a lot more targeted and a lot more niche down to what they're looking for from your brand. And so this is a real client example. This brand that we were working with, we're still working with them to this day. It's been over a year now. They were actually losing subscribers each month. As a result, in 2023, their list shrunk 1,600 subscribers. Why was it shrinking? They only had a footer opt-in at the bottom of their page and was converting less than 10 people every single month. It was horrible. This means that 98.5% of their people who landed on their website, that's based on their site conversion right there, they didn't convert and they were not getting marketed to ever again outside of maybe some retargeting ads, which I know now that they weren't running. They were only hoping that they would pop into their organic socials and maybe see them every once in a while. And you have very little control over that. So it's not a reliable system there. How do we fix that? We went in and we created a mobile specific pop-up, a desktop specific pop-up, and we optimized our footer options so that it actually had the offer in there. It's important to separate your mobile and desktop pop-up because the UX is completely different. Someone who's using their phone has a completely different way of maneuvering versus someone who's on desktop. You also need to make sure it fits in size, and we'll go over that in a future part of this video. We also need to make sure we set different rules displaying for the pop-ups. It's horrible pop-ups can harm your site conversion rate, but a good one won't. And the biggest difference there is really just a matter of like exit intent. You can't track thumbs on a screen like you can a mouse and a cursor on a desktop. So there's different kind of rules you can do, different things you can set, especially when your desktop screen's a lot bigger. If you're doing a percentage scroll, you can kind of change these things up and really get a better, more optimized conversion rate from mobile and desktop specific to each of those platforms, each of those mediums, I should say. And so here's what we ended up. We were able to offer a free digital product, which was a cookbook instead of a discount. And we saw a great opt-in conversion rate. The welcome flow didn't convert as many people into buyers as we would have liked. And we're kind of working through some things to switch up the offer there, but this brand doesn't have the biggest margins. So the free digital product is kind of what is working for them right now. We're converting a lot of these people in through campaigns or through other pre-purchase flows, just getting them back to the website after the cookbook. browsing a product, so on and so forth. This brand wasn't giving away any unnecessary profit margins because they couldn't afford to do that. That's why we went with the digital product. And as you see below, version B was one of the 2 variations we created. We created both of these, and they went from no pop-up, no conversion rate to in just a couple days converting close to 500 people and an 8.13% conversion rate on this pop-up. And that's just within 1 week of running this pop-up. So they went from losing 1,600 subscribers all year to in November, December, when we started working with them. That first month in December is when we started collecting more. And by the end of that year, we had already increased. We took over the gap of the $1,600 lost subscribers, and we ended up growing their list by like 2,400 for that year total. And then this year, that's actually the client that went from 60,000 to 100,000. And so what it looks like over time, as you see, yeah, this is the example here. So they were declining all of 2023. I'll kind of skip some of this because I just said it. Their email list grew 68.2% from 60,000 subscribers right here to 100,000 subscribers, and their SMS list grew from 288 to 4,312. Massive growth just from having a proper pop-up on your website. And so understanding the pop-up performance, let's look at what really is possible with your pop-up optimization. The average e-commerce store is converting 2% of their site traffic into these subscribers. That's what most brands settle for, but the best performing stores are converting 10 to 15% and sometimes even more. We've had some clients, we have one right now that's converting 16, 17, 18%. And during a Black Friday or one of their sales, it's converting a whole lot more than that. On 20,000 monthly site visitors, that's the difference between 400 new subscribers and 3,000 new subscribers. And don't forget that you're essentially capturing future cash flow here. So at the average AOV of $100 per customer for their value, we're talking an extra $267,000 in potential revenue if they were all to buy, of course, or buy over time, or LTV if you want to factor in all these numbers. And so this is every single month, and that is kind of what you need to be shooting for, 10 to 15% with your pop-up performance. So the other question that a lot of you may have is like, what platform to use? Before we talk about what makes a great one, we have to talk about where you're going to build it. And this decision can impact everything else you do. Most brands default to whatever their email platform offers. If it's Klaviyo, if it's SendLane, if it's MailChimp, whatever you're using, that's what most brands default to. But that's like trying to win a race with a bicycle when everybody else is in a motorcycle. If there's something that does it better, why are you not paying for that? It's likely worth it. We've just switched some of our clients to some of these platforms I'm about to show you, and it's been a monumental change in their email list growth and the revenue generated and the amount of people we're able to get into the welcome flow and converting to first-time buyers. It's been a big difference, sometimes even impacting overall conversions by 20 to 30% on average. So let's break down what are some options. Klaviyo is not a bad option. If you're using something like MailChimp or SendLane, I'm sure they have one too. I know MailChimp just acquired Amped, but now anybody can use Amped. For a while there, it was kind of in the air whether you could use Amped if you weren't on MailChimp or so on and so forth. But Klaviyo is kind of the best all-around email and SMS service provider. It's built in. It's good for starting out. You have basic design options. It's limited targeting though. It's best for brands under 50K a month if you can't afford that extra $100 to $300 depending on your site traffic. But if you can, I would highly recommend going with one of these other 2 platforms. Amped, they have great features. They have better design capabilities. A lot of big brands use these. They have advanced targeting options, higher conversion rates. This is better for brands that are above that 50K mark. Like I said, it's somewhat annoying now that they did get bought by MailChimp or Intuit, because the onboarding, everything is just a little different now, and they have to sign in through like MailChimp forms and all this good stuff. So it's kind of annoying. It's still a great platform, but my personal favorite, the one I know a lot of people are switching to. I actually know the founders really well, but the third option is my personal favorite. It's actually the one that we're getting all of our clients onto. And I know a lot of other email marketing agencies are doing the same because it's just that good. Alia is everything that Amped is, but better. It's great for zero-party data collection. They have great reporting. They have the highest conversion rates from a pop-up form collector that I've seen, better than OptiMonk, better than Amped, better than Klaviyo. It does cost a little bit of money, same as Amped really, maybe even cheaper. Founders are really sick. They're very hands-on. I think this is the next big pop-up software. And if you're in the D2C space, you should definitely know who these guys are. If you don't, go ahead and check out Corey and Sean on LinkedIn, on Twitter. Just go to their Alia page and find them there. They're really killing it. Even the Shopify founder, he uses Alia for his personal brand. So it's super cool. One of my favorites, highly recommend Alia. So the kind of style we run the strategy is a multi-step sequence strategy, kind of like a Trojan horse style. Single step forms are pretty dead in 2024. And there's a good reason why. Think about how you behave when you see a form asking you all this information at once: your email, your phone number, your birthday, your gender, all these things, your social security. You don't want to answer all that stuff. Your guard's up immediately. Feels like too much commitment too soon. It's like trying to get someone's phone number before saying hello to them. Nobody likes to be that person at the bar. Nobody likes that person at the bar, and nobody likes that pop-up on their screen. They instantly click out of it. That's why the best performing brands are using psychology to their advantage here. They know that getting small commitments first leads to bigger ones later. And so what I mean by this is a multi-step pop-up sequence where you're able to kind of structure it within a couple questions. So we typically have a simple yes or no question. Unlock your 15% off discount. Click the button below that says unlock, and you click that. There's no commitment required. You're not doing anything other than clicking a button. It piques curiosity. We're likely seeing, or a lot of the times we're seeing a higher, like 17, 18, 25% people click this step one, and then going into the single field email ask, and then going into an SMS ask, and then your success page. So essentially what this really looks like is a yes or no question, email ask, SMS ask, and then your success page. For their SMS, you can give them a slightly better discount if you're willing to, but the whole goal here is micro commitments. They're more likely to say yes to giving you their SMS number, and then you can kind of go from there. Alia also has some really cool learning features where you can kind of, if I can zoom in here, I don't think I can. It says learn and earn. So you can like click on our story, read a 2-second blurb about the brand's story, and then they have much more context to when they go to the product pages to actually buy. And so we're seeing really good conversion rates on the multi-step sequence as well as the learning platform that kind of Alia provides. And so it's really cool. Definitely check that out. Ask them what they think is best for your brand, your niche, or talk to us and we can get you set up as well. Psychology of offers. The offer isn't just about giving something away. This is the most important part of your pop-up. Everything starts with your offer. If you have a bad offer, the way your pop-up looks, whether you built it on Klaviyo, Amped, or Alia, none of that matters if your offer is something that your audience doesn't want or something that they don't find valuable. So it's about creating something irresistible for them to take action. Most brands make the mistake of being too timid with their offers. They're so worried about their margin, which you have to be, but they forget about the lifetime value of their customers. Some of the biggest brands in the space are willing to actually lose money on the front end because they know what a customer is worth to them on the back end, because they have a proper back end built out with different offers, different funnels, subscription models, upsells, proper email marketing, retargeting ads, and all these different things. And so those are the best brands that are out there doing this. Yes, of course, it's awesome to be first purchase profitable. A lot of brands out there are, but they still also have offers that make sense on the front end. And so you think about, what would you rather give a customer? Would you rather acquire a customer at a slightly lower margin or just no customer at all, which is what a lot of brands are doing. So the best offers create urgency. They demonstrate clear value and they feel exclusive, like it's something that they can actually use, that they're getting. And so here's a couple of tips on creating your perfect offer. This, again, it goes with a lot of testing, so you can't just spin one of these up and think it's the best. Even if you do get a 15% conversion rate on your first one, you still want to test. So if your products are under $50, try a lower percentage discount on the first order, or free shipping, or a mystery discount. If you're over $50 to $100, try a dollar amount off. Try a free gift with purchase if you have something available that you can do that. Try VIP early access. I wouldn't really recommend that one too much. If you can tie that into something, if you do drops, that's a good one. If you don't do drops, I would kind of stick to the percentage off, the dollar amount off, or a free gift. $100 off or more, you can try $25 off. I would still stick to the dollar amount off. And then you can do, free premium shipping, exclusive bundle deals. I like the bundle deals and I like the dollar amounts off. You can also kind of jump into these different offers. There's percentage off, free gift with purchase, a BOGO, dollar amount off, giveaway, free shipping, exclusive deals, free digital product with a purchase. You can do a bundle with, it's like buy our starter kit. You have like for example, a supplement brand has a shaker, a funnel, a pack of creatine, and then you get some stickers, you get some cash back, all these kind of things. Cashback is kind of a big one that's coming up in the space. Testing different offers on your pop-up is the most impactful thing that you can do in terms of pop-up conversion rate. Let's go into some other examples that you can do. The power of a pop-up quiz is really strong right now. The traditional pop-up forms ask for information. Quiz pop-up forms kind of start a conversation, they pique interest, and people love answering questions like that in a kind of a quiz style. They tap into the person's natural desire to learn a little bit more about themselves. Think about your own behavior. Would you rather just give away your email or take a quick quiz that helps you find out what product is perfect for you? This interactive approach, it doesn't just sometimes double conversions. It gives them more value, gives you more value, gives them more value too, but it gives you more value as far as more data on your customers, what they want, what they don't want, what they're interested in, what they're not interested in. And it really allows you to segment things into the future and give a personal feel to every one of your visitors when they're going through your emails in the backend. That's what we talked about, that zero party data on your pop-up form. So for example, create. you've got 20% cash back on your first order. What scientifically proven benefit of creatine are you most interested in? I'll let you read those real quick. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Improving body, muscle, increased strength, enhanced cognition. These are the questions that you can spin off your welcome flow on. The first 3 emails are specifically about improving body composition. So if someone clicks that button, their information, the education, the products you're showing are super curated to what their interests are. So you can see how if I clicked muscle recovery, let's say this pop-up wasn't there, but I was here for muscle recovery, and you were only showing me things about enhancing my cognition, I wouldn't be as enticed by, because that's not really what I'm here for. So if you can ask them a question, maybe it's a lifestyle question, maybe it's a problem question, maybe it's a preference question, and then you can give them kind of the offer and around the products that they might be interested in. Very, very helpful. And this one's more so like in the welcome flow, showing the customized recommendations. It's very, very, very valuable, very powerful, and the conversion rate can really be a lot higher than your typical multi-step sequence if that works for your type of brand. So the other reality here is that people design all of their pop-ups for desktop first and then mobile, which is crazy to me because 81% of most of your visitors are going to be on mobile. Your pop-up forms are designed for desktop first. You're just automatically losing right out the gates. This disconnect is costing you thousands of lost subscribers every single month because you're not capturing the people where they're natively at. If it's mobile, make sure it's optimized for mobile. So you think about how you use your phone, you're probably holding it in one hand. You're likely like multitasking or on the go, or you're sitting there and you're kind of competing with like going back to TikTok versus Instagram, or you're scrolling the site. You have zero patience for poorly designed design experiences, and the pop-up really needs to just work really flawlessly, show up at the right time with the right context. And so the mobile design kind of implementation guide here, this is kind of what you're optimizing for. You see how big, bold, clickable this is. This is a great example. I got this from the Alio website if you haven't figured that out already. The optimization checklist that we're really looking at is the size and space. So like you want 75%, this one has the whole screen, but you want at least 75% of the screen to be covered. Very thumb-friendly tap zones, like those buttons being 44 pixels minimum. Clear hierarchy of information. You kind of see how this one's got like a V of 20% cash back on your first order, and your eyes just kind of come down, and you have claim offer here. Then, which is also good. You don't want something like continue, because then it kind of makes them feel like there's more work to do. As far as your fonts and stuff, 16 minimum pixels. You kind of have to play with what fonts you're using. It's always different. High contrast colors, clear readable fonts. Your buttons, you want them to be full width, as big as you can. Clearly clickable, simple, action-oriented text. Claim this offer. Claim my 20% back. Spend my 20%, or anything like that. And then, so that's designing for mobile first. That's a big step. But what's also important is timing and the psychology behind the pop-up timing. So timing isn't just about when the form appears. It's also about matching your visitor's state of mind. If you show up too early, you're annoying. You're an annoying interruption. If you show up too late, they're already gone. They're not interested. The goal is to catch them at the perfect time for the moment that they can engage with that pop-up. If you're ever watching people use their phones on a website and they pop-up happens instantly, a lot of the times they click out because they just haven't had enough time to be interested in 10% off, because they don't know what they'd be getting 10% off of. And maybe they saw an ad, but it was too vague, and they land on the website and then it shows up instantly. They don't know what you offer. They don't know what other products are out there. They don't know what your best sellers are. Give them a second to scroll and learn that. Start to become more conscious of not only how you react to pop-ups while casually browsing, but how other people around you react as well if you're getting shown a website or something. David Ogilvy, who's known as the father of advertising, has a quote that I always think about when it comes to these kind of things. It goes like, the consumer isn't a moron, she's your wife. And at the end of the day, you just really have to remember that you're marketing to real people, not just metrics in your Shopify or Klaviyo account. They're not just robots out there, that things can annoy them. And you have to kind of cater to the customer experience first and foremost, before you're looking at conversion rates and metrics and all this good stuff. And so what do we typically implement? Where should you start? What you should look at with your timing of the pop-ups. So initially for desktop and mobile, we kind of start very, very similarly with 4 to 12 second delays and a scroll of 80% of your website. And then on desktop, you can add exit intent, which is typically immediately after they hover over the X. But that's just your starting point. You really need to test where the best is. Sometimes desktop is a 30 seconds. Sometimes mobile is a 8 seconds. Sometimes mobile is a 40% scroll, depending on what's on your site. You really just have to start testing. But if you start here, these are not going to have an impact on your site conversion rate, your Shopify conversion rate, because they are kind of slower and they need a lot more to be triggered. And so you're not going to instantly pop up and have people exit your website, because it's an annoying pop-up. I know a lot of you guys have that fear, so start here and you're not going to have to worry about that. Why design can make or break your pop-up. This is a big one. So most brands focus too much on making their pop-up look super, super pretty. But the truth is, design isn't about aesthetics. It's also about getting results. If you think about it like a salesperson in your store, your pop-up is there to look professional, but more importantly, it needs to guide your customers to take action. Every element in your pop-up should serve a specific purpose. You shouldn't have a bunch of extra copy in there. You shouldn't have a bunch of random colors, random fonts in there. It's confusing. You really need to specify or be specific with what you're putting in there, because everything matters. Everything causes either a drop off or an increase, and you have to really be conscious of that. So the best converting pop-ups follow a specific formula that we've proven works for our clients. And so as far as designs, using your brand colors as a base, adding one contrasting accent color for buttons, follow the 60-30-10 rule, like 60% primary, 30% secondary, 10% accent colors. Never using too many colors. More than 3 is kind of really the goal there. Fonts, keeping them around these size. Stick to 1 font family, typically 2 max. You kind of want to keep it really simple, really readable. Desktop needs to be big. Mobile needs to be big. Exit buttons, everything needs to be big in your images. Can be product shots, they can be lifestyle images, they can be simple backgrounds, whatever you want to test. That's where you should kind of start. And so as far as implementing all of this information that we just talked about, all this stuff is kind of worthless if you don't take action on it. You have everything you need to go and create a high converting pop-up. All of this information alone is not going to increase your conversion rate. You need to actually implement these stuff with your brand, with your clients. Start small, start today, and really test it. To help you with this, I created a set of action items for you below. I don't know why there's a little typo there, but here are your 5 action items. So we're going to go through them. Craft your offer, choose your form structure, build your form, optimize your checklist, or go through our optimization checklist, and then test for growth. And I have a 7-week roadmap on exactly kind of where to test and where to start. So like we mentioned, stage 1, go ahead and figure out your offer. Go through these, figure out, okay, my product's over $100. Should I do a dollar amount? Can we do a 50? Can we do a 25? What can we do? Obviously $50 on a $100 product, a little crazy, but figure out what works best for your margins, and also test what gets your audience engaged enough to actually sign up to your email list. Make sure it's super, super clear in your pop-up. The only thing they care about is what's in it for them. And don't say join our exclusive list or for newsletter updates and updates about us. They don't care about your brand that much. It's what's in it for them that they care about. Stage 2, choose the form structure that you're going to use. Are you going to use a simple sequence with the yes or no, an email, optional SMS, and deliver the reward? You're going to do a mystery offer. Are you going to do a quick quiz? Are you going to capture that 0-party data and go through the process of splitting out your welcome flow? We do a combination of the yes or no questions mixed with the 0-party data questions. Sometimes we don't do a yes or no. Sometimes it's a question or two on why they're there. And then we split up the welcome flow. If you don't want to go through all that trouble, just go ahead and drop me a comment, drop me an email, or shoot me a message, and we can help you build something like that out. Because I know it is a bit more labor intensive if you're going to split out your welcome flow for those optimal conversion rates. Next, you want to build your actual form. Build it off of these rules right here. Make it big enough, make it readable, make it contrast, make it mobile friendly first. Do your timing rules, show it after 8 seconds, show after 4 seconds. Clear main headline, strong value proposition for your customers, simple button text, easy close option. And then you're in the optimization phase. So once it's built, make sure it loads quick, make sure it looks good on mobile, make sure it's readable, make sure it's clickable, make sure it's functional. Is it working correctly? Is it triggering your welcome flow? Are they being added to your list? Is single opt-in on and double opt-in is off? Are you thanking them? Do you have a thank you page that shows the success message and the code on the website, not just in the email? Most agencies out there are going to tell you to put it only in the email, but you're kind of losing conversion rates there because there's a natural drop off. Keep it on the site where they're already able to buy. Email is not there to kind of cannibalize those sales. It's there to add sales and retarget and remarket to the people that went through your site and just didn't buy right away. Make sure your whole welcome flow works. Make sure if they purchase or they add the cart or they browse a product, they get kicked out of your welcome flow and put into another flow. Make sure all those flow filters and flow triggers are set up properly. And then just go through the experience. Is it clear? Is it smooth? Can you close it? Can you not close it? What's going on there? Is it easy to understand what to do on your pop-up? Especially if you have an older demographic. Make sure it's super clear, super big, and straightforward. And now you're kind of in the 7-week testing phase. Like I said, offers are the most important thing. This might take you more than 2 weeks, depending on how much site traffic your pop-up is getting, but test different discounts, test and compare offer types, track the redemption rates. Are people actually coming back and buying in your welcome flow because the offer is so good? After you figure out what offer is working best, go ahead and test the timing. Go ahead and test different copy styles. Go ahead and test design form size. Go ahead and test different creatives, color schemes. All these things are testable. You want to aim for at least an 8%, but try to shoot for that 10 to 15% or more. If you're using Klaviyo, you can still get these kind of numbers, but I would highly suggest Alia because it's going to make it a whole lot easier for you. And the boys over at Alia will actually build your first pop-up. So go and check them out. I know I keep plugging them, but they're just really dope guys doing a really good job in the space. And we recommend all of our clients use them. We set them up, we optimize, we implement, and we take care of everything on that end for our clients. Make sure you're trying to shoot for like 80% per step completion rate. And then you really want people to buy. You really need to be optimizing for how many people are purchasing in my welcome flow, not just converting to my email list. Because a bunch of people that don't buy are pointless. You want them to at least show interest in buying your welcome flow. And if they don't, you at least know they went through it, and you can market to them again with campaigns and other flows once they hit your website. So that is your implementation guide. Now, throughout this process, you're going to be looking at all these metrics, what matters, what doesn't. Tracking the wrong metrics will definitely lead you down the wrong path. Raw conversion rate doesn't tell the whole story. You need to understand the quality of your subscribers, not just the quantity. Think of it like measuring the health of your business, not just its size. So these are kind of the same numbers I just gave, but what I really wanted to talk about here was look at your welcome flow open rates. Are people actually interested? Are people opening? Are people clicking? Are people buying? Are people, losing interest after emails 2 and 3, and now your open rate on email 4 is 15%. You need to know if you're attracting the wrong type of people. We've had clients in the past who want to do these giveaways like their Ridge wallet, and they're giving away a Cybertruck. They're not giving away a Cybertruck. They're giving away something pointless that no one really wants. People are just hitting that page from ads and they're trying to get something free. They give us a burner email. Their welcome flow bounce rate goes through the roof. Their open rate drops, and all of a sudden we're running into deliverability issues because they wanted to run some crazy, stupid offer. Don't do that. Make sure you're measuring what matters and make sure you're looking at this constantly so you can actually see beyond your conversion rate what's actually affecting your brand's revenue at the end of the day. So final thoughts. Pop-up optimization is not a one-time task. It's an ongoing process of testing and improving. The brands that win are the brands that test their pop-up like a key revenue driver, because it truly is. You can have welcome flows, you can have abandoned carts, you can have all your flows built out, you can be sending out campaigns, but in 4 to 6 months, if you go back to that chart we looked at, your list is going to start to die. You're not going to start generating more revenue from your email marketing channel because it's dying, it's slowing down, it's not getting new eyeballs into the funnel. And that's a super, super key factor. And from, being stuck at 5 to 10% of your email, of revenue coming from email, shooting up to 30 to 40% of your revenue every single month coming from email because you have a proper pop-up form, because you have good deliverability, you have flows, you have campaigns, and all these things are working at the same pace and helping each other. Everything you add makes everything else better. But that's exactly what you need to be doing. This is the exact strategy that you need to implement. Your future revenue will thank you. And I promise you, if you do go through these steps and you actually implement them, you'll see a major, major increase in your email marketing revenue. And so with that being said, that's it for this one. Hope this was valuable. Not only valuable, but extremely actionable. None of what you read or watched today matters anything if you don't ever implement this. So I strongly recommend you implement it. If you want more valuable, actionable tips, join my free newsletter for more tips. I send out 2 to 3 emails a week going over advice, giving away our guides early. If you want the document of this, it'll be in the link below, but I send a lot of these documents first to my newsletter. So if you were on my newsletter, you would have seen this guide a week and a half ago or something like that. I also do internal trainings on our newsletter. I give away our frameworks and our winning split test to save you thousands of hours that it took me and my team to generate millions of dollars through email and SMS marketing for e-commerce brands. If you want to check me out on any other platforms, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram. Go ahead and check out our agency website. Watch our free YouTube videos. You'll probably see another one here in the top left or the bottom left of the screen. And so with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.